This is Will Stewart from OnlineChessLessons.net, and I'm looking at Game 4 of the Las Vegas Poolside Blitz match with Grandmaster Ron Henley. And in Game 4 here, he's got black, I've got white. And the match situation going into this, we had 2 draws, and I had won 1 game. So if Ron drew this, we would have had to go into some type of sudden death overtime. So kicking things off, e4, c5, knight f3, plays g6. And Ron is, he's written exhaustive manuals on the Genji Indian and also the sniper variation with this G6 here. So I played C4 trying to get him out, get him away from his comfort zone. This guy's deadly with the snipers, so I definitely want to avoid that. So I played H3 here, just didn't want to let him trade off his light squared bishop, I guess. Also, I was kind of planning on playing g4. Now with e5, knight d5, so if knight g7, I could play bishop g5. Get a little initiative there, so he plays knight ce7 to avoid that. So moving forward, and bishop g5 is now met by f6. And so I'm kind of like trying to figure out what is black's plan. Knight c7, he's going backwards to get rid of my knight. What's he going to do after that? And so I decided he would probably try to play f5. So I figured g4 might, discourage him playing f5 here. And so now knight e7, standard move. He's still trying to play f5, and so I want to continue trying to discourage f5 because if he does that, black is going to have a very nice position. So rook g1 was definitely an option. I also decided on the other option, knight to d2. The idea is that he plays f5, g takes f5, g takes f5, queen h5 check, and all of a sudden this is not so good for black. So knight d2 also possibly trying to maneuver the knight to c4. Via c4, maybe you can go back to e3 as well. So knight d2 was cool. Why not? He played bishop h6. Ron's a very strong positional player. This isn't crazy. This isn't rocket science. The dark square bishop for black is a horrible piece. Ron strives to improve the worst piece in his position or exchange it. Now with f6, shoring up on the dark squares. I didn't like f6 so much, but I do understand it. It's not a bad move. It's not my style, I think, but I probably would have thought maybe b5, bishop d7. I don't know. Problem with f6, castles also was maybe an option. But now queen h6, okay, king f7, so Ron's a cool customer here. Even though queen h6, I didn't want him to castle. Okay, and bishop e2. Now b5 by him. And now just knight back to e3. And the knight is very well placed on e3. If Ron tries to lock the position down with g5 here, then h4. But I don't think black really can get away with that. So he goes queen f8, kicks me back. I don't want to trade queens. I feel like his king is not in a great place here, so I should try to exploit that. So okay, things are the pressure is building. Black has play on the queen side. Ron plays rook b8, possibly threatening some kind of c4 break in the future. Rook b8 was a weird idea. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't completely understand it. I thought he should have, I don't know, maybe queen g7 there or something, trying to play f5 maybe, king e8, f5. So anyway, I go queen g3, he goes bishop d7. So Ron is, he's got it. The black's position is definitely defensible. White has a slight edge. Maybe black needs to play g5 at some point, but it's a move you don't really want to make. So here I played f4 before he could lock it with g5. So I was really trying to do that, sooner than later. Because if he locks it with g5, even though I think I've got an edge there, I don't know, it's tough to prove. Maybe he could have played g5 instead of bishop d7, g5, knight f5, knight g6. The knight goes to f4. Black maybe could get the advantage there. Anyway, Ron king e8 gets the king out of there. I castle. Queen h6, interesting move. Although the complications ended up benefiting me, I think there was one continuation here we're going to look at. So g5, I'm just trying to open it up. I need to open the position. If I can't, black is going to get out of this just fine. So yeah, g5, if pawn takes g5, pawn takes e5. That's the point. I guess is to weaken up e5 here and all things in between. The basics of the combo is definitely tactical. Things get pretty interesting here. Black, I think Black has got to play pawn takes g5, f takes. Well, no, wait a second. Pawn takes f4 probably. Pawn takes f4. G takes h6. Pawn takes g3. And after rook takes f6, rook b6. I think I played king g2, and he's got to play knight g8 immediately. So that's what I calculated at the board. And you probably see me shake my head here. I was not very happy that. I mean, maybe white is a little better there, maybe, but black gets the pawn back, and it's probably about equal. So okay, so here takes f4. We exchange queens. Rook takes f6. So now here he goes rook b6. And so here, I was looking at rook f1, but he just plays bishop takes h3, and it looks silly. Maybe bishop g4, but again, knight g8. Knight g8 is, he's got this resource here. King g2, just knight g8 right now. And material is equal. Maybe slight edge to white. So in the game, Ron played rook f8. Big mistake. I end up coming out of it. You might think just the doubled H pawn, but it is very significant. After we trade, I activate the rook here, king e8. Now bishop g4 is a nice move. There's no rush to collect the g3 pawn. That guy's not going anywhere. So bishop g4, much better to trade bishops so my knight can come to g4 to protect the pawn on h6. That's really the key. If I can keep that pawn on h6, shouldn't be too tough to win the endgame with the extra pawn. So simplified, and white's extra space in the center. Ron rook b7. It's already not a very easy position to play. So king takes g3. Why not? More to activate the king than anything else. Now we go through some trades, and simply knight g4, rook f7. Maybe you don't want to trade rooks. It's difficult for black to get counterplay. Maybe you play moves like, I don't know, rook b7 and c4. It's just tough. So right now I'm calculating to see if the pawn in game is going to be winning, and it should be. With the extra pawn here, so simplified material, it shouldn't be that hard to win. So okay, king f4. Now Ron goes with the trade. I mean, what's he going to do? If he avoids the trade, I'll play king g5. Eventually he'll probably have to move his knight, and then I'll play knight f6, and he's going to lose the h pawn and lose the game. So this is too much. So here I was just able to find the force win anyway. King takes, now h4, stop h5, or stop g5 rather. And now it's going to be a simple trick in the endgame, e5 check, pawn takes king e4, and his king is going to have to go back. My king is going to have some entry squares. So just that one extra pawn here, even though it's doubled, not a big deal. So Ron with a6. I could probably play e5 here, but I wanted to play b3 and induce him to play b4 just to kind of loosen up those pawns. It made sense before playing e5. To me, it seems identical. It seemed a little better to fix his pawns, just more straightforward. So with e5 check here, black, this is it. This is pretty much over. There's not going to be any way to stop white. White is just going to play d4. He's connected past pawns, or any kind of. It's just too much. White has just got too much play here. So Ron hung on for a couple more moves. King to e7. And so here I was just kind of waiting. King d7. He's just hoping I'll maybe play east. Maybe there's some kind of draw here. We were also kind of low on time. And so I believe in this position, actually, Ron, I think he lost on time right here. Yeah. So, okay, a very good game. Round 4, the results of the match, I mean, it was very close. I think kind of what gave me the edge maybe against Ron was I've been playing a good amount of Blitz lately. I'm pretty fast these days. And so I think kind consistently being able to get him in time trouble really helped me out. So this is Will Stewart from onlinechesslessons.net. Thanks for tuning in.
So far.
Okay.
Yes. Give me a smile. Want to do it? This video was made with help from JCat of Ride Media Group. www.ridemediagroup.com/JCat.